Welcome to the Double I Show.
Incoherent Idiocy. I'm R.W. King, and with me always is...
Sweet Tea, and we got a very fun-packed episode for you today.
Before we get started, though, we want to give everybody a shout-out, T, man. We had some really good reaction to our first show, and, I mean, I just want to say thanks to everybody out there.
Yeah, you got to give these people some love. Let them know that we appreciate them, and thank you very much for being a part of this. I'd like to shout out to Angel right now.
And I want to give some special shout-outs myself, you know, Octavio, man, you're the man. We appreciate what you're doing out there, pubbing us, giving us some comments, giving us some things, telling your peeps about us. We just want to say thanks for the support. Steph, Millip, you guys are great.
Awesome. Love it. So, you want to get into this?
I do.
All right, so what do we got going?
Man, we got all sorts of stuff today, T, but we're going to start about, you know, our show is pretty much structured. We're going to have a couple, you know, not, you know, crazy serious, but some serious subjects to start off our show, and then we sort of wind it down with some other stuff. So we're going to get started with a story that I'm really interested in today, and I think you know a little bit about it. It's about this guy, Adnan Syed. You hear about that guy, T?
Yeah, I do. I love that guy. You know, at least the serial podcast that started it all. I remember, what is it, a few years ago, listening to that, got hooked on it right away. Man, I got to tell you, I'm a little disappointed because I don't have the ability to watch this HBO documentary, but I think you do.
Yeah, no, I've been watching it. It's already had a couple episodes on it, and you know what I mean? For me, and I'm just going to speak personally, Serial was probably my motivation to even do this show. I mean, I really wasn't at any podcast. This was sort of the first thing you actually turned me on to. And it just got me going. You know, I mean, I sort of binged that thing. I mean, I probably wasn't sleeping a few nights when I was going to work because I wanted to keep listening to episodes. But
you in the morning, I remember that. In the morning, you cursed me out because you said you were up all night binging.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this thing was that driving and that hook, it just would hook you, you know. So the story is just, it's very intriguing. And we're going to talk about it a little bit today and give you guys a little bit of something to chew on. Maybe you guys get involved in this thing. You know, there's a big movement out there for this guy right now.
Absolutely. It's been there for a while, and now we're starting to see and hear things moving forward with it, especially with this HBO documentary. I think you saw some of it, so why don't you run it down for us?
Yeah, so what we're going to do here is we're going to give a little update on this HBO documentary because things that are coming out now are actually things that are newer in the case. You know, before when the Serial podcast came out, it came out a few years back, and you know, it's basically ended that Adnan got convicted and he was in jail for life. I mean, that's sort of how the podcast ended. There was really, you know, they wanted to do an appeal, everything else. And then they came up with the second podcast, which is called Undisclosed.
Undisclosed, and that was family member, not family members, but it was friends of the family. That is a lawyer that was helping or trying to help him with his case. And they, again, much like you and I, they were new to this whole podcasting thing, and it was three lawyers that started this podcast, didn't know how to do anything, but they just started picking up where Serial left off.
You know, and absolutely, and the family friend is still involved in the case. She's actually the lead lawyer now and the lead legal in Adnan's defense.
Really?
Absolutely. And it's dirty. It's getting dirty. You know, the prosecution, because of all the pub out there, they're sort of making the Baltimore prosecution look bad. There was a rap on the Baltimore Police Department back in the day. They had, you know, like a hit squad type of mentality. They had the highest arrest rate for convictions in murder case, or highest arrest rate in murder cases, but lowest conviction rate in the country.
And you know, I'm gonna not to step over that, but I'm gonna say Baltimore has a history of that. Their police department has a very bad history, and it's not even that, doesn't even date back that long ago. You know, I think it was like a year or two ago when the Baltimore PD was caught on body cam planting drugs and trying to arrest somebody for drugs, and they got it. They saw the plant on camera.
Yeah, and that's sort of how this thing is sort of playing out, T. You know, it's sort of looking like they're sort of like fabricating some kind of stories through some witnesses because they sort of figured out they couldn't hit the evidence that really would put this guy away. And the only evidence they had was a cell phone record and an eyewitness testimony.
And what about that eyewitness? I mean, that
was
already
shady.
Yeah.
Not just that, but let's get into the story a little
Sure.
bit. So we're going to
Get
give
into
everybody
it.
a backdrop a little bit. This kid was a high school senior. He's in a magnet school. I mean, straight A student, Pakistani kid, was a Muslim. Right. You know, doesn't want to hurt a fly. Doesn't do nothing. He's at the temple 2 or 3 nights a week. You know, they eat, they break bread with each other. You know, it's just all about religion, one love over there for them. Then he was with a girl. which was forbidden by his parents. He had
Right.
to sneak around to do it.
Yeah.
All the children his age that were in that would go to the temple with them, that were all in high school, they all did the same thing: sneak out, go to the mall, hang out with a girlfriend.
Typical teenage shit.
Exactly. Same thing with his girlfriend. His girlfriend, and this is the girl that in this whole thing really got lost, and she's the victim. Is Heyman Lee. Heyman Lee also was a senior. She had a relationship with Adnan Syed. They were boyfriend and girlfriend, almost like their first loves.
Right.
And they confiscated all the evidence, so they went through her diaries when she would talk about, her days with Adnan. Then they started having trouble because they sort of couldn't see each other. They couldn't make it public. Adnan Syed's family found out about it. The father went to the school to see this guy actually went to the prom and was voted prom king. And
Wow.
the parents didn't even know.
Wow.
So obviously,
Talk about a double life.
So exactly, and this poor guy sort of had to hide that from his family because they didn't want to know that. Just a regular guy, liked to smoke weed. Was about smoking weed.
He's a
just
teenager.
chilling, just chilling. He had a couple friends that were sort of a little bit shady. There was this one guy, Jay Wild.
Yeah.
And Jay was sort of an acquaintance of him. And how he put it is, since probably the 7th or 8th grade, he knew this guy, Jay. And he would come in and out of their lives. They were friends, they were acquaintances, but nothing like everyday friends and talk. And mostly what they did was smoke weed together.
Okay.
And this guy, Jay, would come in and out of his life. And Jay was sort of still connected to Adnan through another girl, Stephanie, of his friend at school.
Right.
Stephanie and Jay used to date. They went out together, Adnan and them. Anyway, long story short, Adnan and Heyman Lee, they broke up. They broke up a few times. The last time, she started dating another guy, an older guy. He used to work at the Lens Crafters where she worked.
Mm.
All of a sudden, one day, the girl goes missing. Next thing you know, 6 weeks later, 5 weeks later, whatever it was, they found her dead body.
Right.
Nothing really, no evidence, anything else. All of a sudden, this guy Jay comes out and says that he helped bury the body, helped Adnan bury the body. Adnan's the one who strangled her in a Best Buy parking lot, and that's how it started. Said he didn't see him strangle her, but he saw the body in the trunk of her car. And then you start hearing all the details about what happened, everything else. But then you start thinking, you ever watch these shows, T, like the First 48? And,
Love it.
these guys are so detailed at the forensics they do and what they're doing and how they do it. Don't touch this. Don't look at that. Let's do it this way. There was none of that shit in this case.
When was this? Was it during the was there CSI stuff? I think this from what I remember, I believe it was like in the 80s.
No, it wasn't that long ago because he's been in jail for 20 years.
Or was it the
now,
90s?
It was the late 90s.
Okay,
99, 98.
So they already
had DNA.
They had DNA. They had all that.
They did all these tests because the place that they found her body, there was a specific type of soil that was just unique to that area. So if they found any trace of this and anything this kid had, it was a bust.
And they found nothing of that.
Nothing. They couldn't match that. They couldn't find these red fibers they found on her body, which this guy Jay said where Adnan was walking around wearing red gloves one day when he saw him. This guy Jay's story changed 3 or 4 times by the time he got up on the witness stand.
Now, here's my question to that. What did they give Jay? What did the prosecution, what did the state give Jay?
I don't know what they gave him.
They had to have given him something.
They either that or they knew he was involved somehow and they just said, you know what, hey, you tell us this and there's no issue with you.
Yeah.
That's what I think happened.
Yeah. I remember listening to the Serial podcast, and the storytelling was so precise. And I remember Jay. I remember some of the things. I don't remember everything. I think that's why I'm so interested to listen to what you're having to say about this documentary now on HBO. That I'm curious now to what's new that's coming out of all this.
Right. So that's the backdrop of the story, and that's sort of what happened. So then what happened too is Adnan went to court thinking, hey man, first of all, even when he got arrested, he didn't know what he was being arrested for.
Right.
Then he got arrested, and he tells these guys, look, they gave the paper in front of him, and they're already asking him before they show him the paper with the charges on it, why'd you do it, bro? Tell me. I had an ex-wife too. I used to get mad at her. Just tell me, why'd you do it? So do what? Who are you talking about? He didn't even know why he was arrested. They wouldn't tell him.
That's it. You,
Then
you
he
shouldn't even
gets
know
there.
what you're charged with.
Then he gets there, and they put a paper in front of him that says he's being charged with first-degree murder. He's
Wow.
a smart kid.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what, man? I need a lawyer. You guys are charging me. Oh, you want a lawyer? You're guilty then.
Yeah, that's
And
dirty.
that's sort of how the whole thing started. The family got a lawyer for him. The lawyer went to the correctional facility to see Adnan Syed, pronounced himself. They told the lawyer, we know our rights from the Constitution and the Supreme Court. You cannot come in here unless he asks for you specifically.
What? How does he even know who she is?
It was a him.
Oh, was it him?
It wasn't the lady who ended up trying the case. It was the first lawyer the family hired to go get him out of jail.
Wow.
And
Wow.
the lawyer said that too.
That's impossible.
He doesn't even know I exist.
Yes.
The family hired me. He's a minor. He's 17 years old.
That's bullshit.
They wouldn't let him see him. He said that was the first time he'd ever experienced anything like that. And he was just like, his term was flabbergasted. He's a lawyer. He's not gonna say
exactly.
He's not going to say about
He's
fucking,
yeah, exactly.
Right? So that's what, that's sort of how this thing went. It just seemed shady from the beginning. Just didn't seem like this guy really had the rights he was supposed to have. They didn't give him the opportunities. And like I was saying, they convicted him based on a ding on a cell phone tower because they said a cell phone he had dinged a cell phone tower near Lincoln Park at that time.
Which was old flip phones. Those, I don't know if you remember those old cell phones, man. Come on. How accurate were any of that stuff?
Right. So here's the thing, too. When it comes out of what's going on, there's testimony from one of Jay's friends who Jay was hanging around with that day, said Jay had a cell phone. And then they asked her, did Jay have a cell phone at that time? In the 90s, not a lot of people had cell phones.
No.
And Adnan even used to make the comment, I felt cool because I was the only one of my friends that had a cell phone.
Right.
And I used to ask him, hey, you want to use my phone? You want to make a call? It made me feel cool.
Yeah.
So now this guy carries around a cell phone, which is probably Adnan's, because he was driving Adnan's car.
Ah.
It all points to this guy, Jay. So really what's going on now is it's all bringing it back together. So when he got convicted, they had an appeal. The lawyer did the appeal, but she was all jacked up, man. This lady was just out there. She didn't do the proper things. She didn't file the right papers, the right motions. She didn't ask the right questions. She didn't call the right witnesses. There were witnesses for Adnan that went to her on his behalf saying, I think I have something relevant. And she said, it's not relevant. And one of them was a girl who basically could corroborate his story that he was in the library.
Now, wasn't she a super lawyer? I mean, she was supposed to be some big-time lawyer over there.
I don't know, but I think at the time she was suffering from some terminal cancer as well.
So
it
that
might
could have
been
had
messing
some
with her,
factors
too.
because
And actually, I believe she got disbarred.
I think you're right. But she was, from what I remember, she was some type of big-time lawyer over there, and that's why they hired her.
I mean, even just looking at the footage, she just didn't look comfortable in a courtroom. She looked like she really didn't know what she was doing.
Well, it was probably because of the cancer, man. I mean, that messes you up.
No, absolutely. But it seemed like a railroad job from the beginning. They didn't do forensics on her car. If she was stuffed in a trunk, wouldn't you want to swab that thing for some blood evidence?
Absolutely.
For some DNA, for some kind of skin residue, something?
Something.
It was like a little Nissan car. They would have to stuff her in there.
Oh, man. That is just bad.
So now the new show starts, and like you said, the friend of the family now, who was involved in the second podcast, she's the lead legal defense. She's got her law degree. She's going through this, and she's trying to fight for a new appeal based on a lot of new evidence that's come out.
Right.
And one of the new evidence has come out, and they haven't touched on it yet, but they talked about it in the very first episode, that maybe that cell phone tower information wasn't accurate.
Really?
Yeah. So
I told you.
And
I told you,
that's
man.
really, so the guy who came out and did the testimony, the expert witness, is now coming out and saying this stuff could have some flaws in it.
And it wasn't he from AT&T, I believe.
I'm not sure.
He was some
exactly
expert
where
guy.
he's from.
I'm trying to remember the back end. It's been a while since I've listened to the Serial podcast.
So now they're following up on all these people now, and they're getting older, right? I mean, this guy's going to be 40 years old soon, right? He's been in jail over half his life now.
Right.
And he's still saying, hey, I didn't do it. But here's the thing, T, and this is one of the points on the Serial podcast in the very beginning. You're a 17-year-old kid, or even nowadays, try to remember what you did last Wednesday at 3 p.m. I mean, other than if you weren't working. If you were a kid and you got out of school at 3 o'clock, or say your work day ended at 2 p.m., can you give me step by step what you did from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. exactly?
Nope.
And don't just say driving home. What if you didn't have to drive home? What if you went, so did you go to the store?
Right.
What'd you get?
Did you stop and
Did you
get
see
gas?
anybody?
What'd you do?
It's so hard, man.
It is. To
And
recall even the
they
next day
asked this
sometimes.
kid to go back and remember an hour after school 6 weeks before.
That's horse shit.
I mean, come on, man. And the reality was it was basically 21 minutes after school.
Wow.
So it's again, it's sort of like, I mean, come on. How is that even possible?
It's not.
So there's even, they have testimonies now of people nowadays who said they told the police this, that they ran into Heyman Lee when she was leaving school and she was in a hurry to leave. And one of the girls is like, hey, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to meet my new boyfriend. I forget this guy's name. I got to go. If she's leaving school to meet her new boyfriend and somebody was with Adnan after school in the library, and this happened within a 30-minute period after school was out.
When was there time to do that?
Right? I mean,
I don't know. Something's not adding up.
it isn't, man. And that's what this whole thing's about. And now, so they go back to court in the last episode, which was the second episode of this thing,
Yeah.
to sort of see, hey, are they going to grant a new appeal based on this new evidence? And then the prosecution goes and they did a dirty, dog.
What did they do?
What they did is the friend of the family was actually a witness for Adnan Syed at his trial, a character witness,
Right.
because she knew him. She was in high standard. She was in law school, whatever else. There's this caveat, this thing in there that if you were involved in the case or a witness or whatever else, you have to be sequestered before the appeal, and you cannot have any bearing on the appeal.
How long before?
Immediately once the action starts. So now the judge is in a quandary because she's the legal defense.
That's a weak technicality.
Exactly. So she's, even after when she came out, she was just fired up. And she talked to the news cameras, and she basically said, hey, the prosecution's doing this because I've been outspoken about them.
Yeah.
I've been calling them out, telling them how shady they are
Absolutely.
and what they're doing, and this is just a tactic that they're doing.
It is dirty.
To not let this happen.
Dirty.
So that's sort of the Adnan Syed thing in a nutshell. And folks, if you have a chance to listen to a podcast, listen to Serial.
I would start off with Serial.
Absolutely. That thing is
and
just
you're
amazing.
you're just gonna get hooked. You're gonna get immersed into it. And then once you're done with that, check out Undisclosed, because Undisclosed picks up where Serial left off.
Yeah, no, you're right. And again, Sarah Koenig, she's the shit. She's the one who she got a lot of credit for this. She's the one who started this, and she did a great job in that Serial. And like I said, she's a lot of the motivation why me and T are sitting here today.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so let's move on to our next story, man.
Hey, I like this story, too.
I bet you do.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people do, especially when here in California, man.
Yeah, but I mean, we're going to talk about legalization of marijuana.
Yeah, let's talk about it, man. There's a lot of stuff going on around the legalization right now. You have some states like New Jersey right now just voted on it. They still don't know what the vote total is. They're still struggling with the vote totals. There's the U.S. Attorney General for the feds. He's outspokenly against all states legalizing it for even recreational or medicinal. And we see a culture shift. There's so many states now that are approving for not just medicinal but recreational. And Florida, 2 years ago, the voters voted for medicinal marijuana, and just now are they getting it? It's just ridiculous.
Hey, T, I think this is a good time to cut in and give our good morning shout out to Dr. X over there, since we're talking about legalization of marijuana. What's
He's
going on,
stoned
Dr.
all the
X?
time.
I know, dude. That's what I'm saying. So, hey, just want to give a shout out again. Dr. X is over there, even though he's in the weeds over there. He's just chilling. So, yeah.
By the way, real quick, did he ask you for a mic again? Because he's been bugging me all morning.
I think he ordered one, man. It's supposed to be coming in
I'm not.
free.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after the show. Hey, but anyway, hey, T, I heard this thing. I don't know if you heard anything about it, but something about Jelly Bellies getting involved in this thing,
So not Jelly Bellies as in the company that owns them now, but in the creator of Jelly Bellies. He sold the Jelly Belly. It's his whole drama backstory, but the creator of Jelly Bellies is now creating a form of like Jelly Bellies with the cannabis extract, what is it, CBD?
CBD, yeah, that's the one that helps you medicinally but doesn't get you high.
Exactly. And so now he's trying to come out with a whole line of candies with CBD in it
I think there's so much edibles and things out there anyway. They're behind the eight ball, but I mean the reality, right? I mean this is big money. This is huge money. And I'm curious. Have you seen anything, read anything, or heard anything? What kind of taxes are these states bringing in?
There's not a lot of information out there on that. I tried looking into it. There's not a lot of disclosure and just kind of openness about it. So it's hard to tell.
Look, man, my take is this. Look, people ain't. It's not like you go out and smoke a fucking bowl and then you're gonna go rob a bank. You know that shit ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, you're gonna fall asleep.
I mean, I heard a story one time back in the day, and this is just a story. I don't even know really the reality of it, but I think there's some validity to it. But the whole reason for outlawing marijuana the way that it was outlawed and classified back in the day by the federal government was because of hemp rope.
Absolutely. And it goes back to the, turn of the century. You have billionaires.
Well, the DuPonts, that's what it was. It was actually the DuPonts that I heard. So the DuPonts were a big family, and they turned into this big conglomeration or whatever you call that shit. And they discovered the nylon rope.
Right.
And everything was made out of hemp at the time.
Everything was made out of hemp, and they had the naval contracts.
So they were saying, look, if we outlaw marijuana, hemp's a derivative of marijuana, they won't be able to grow hemp anymore.
And they can't make those ropes.
And they had to outlaw it to a point where it couldn't get repealed, so they made it a class 1 drug.
Right.
Like heroin and that type
and
of stuff.
cocaine and
right.
everything like that. So it's all politics, man. It's bullshit. It's money. That's all it boils down to. And, right now, California, we live in California. California is a legalized for everything usage right now. The issue, though, is where we're struggling are some of the laws, the old laws don't match the new law. Meaning, people still have this stigma about marijuana. So what happens if they find marijuana and you're at work, they do a drug test, it's.
Well, I don't think that stuff's like beer or whatever else, right? I mean, it's not going to be out of your system if you're not drunk. I think it stays in your system for quite a while.
Exactly.
30 days,
and
60 days,
and
up
that's
to
the
a
problem.
year, really.
But that's the problem. If it stays in your system, you test positive. That doesn't mean you were high at the moment. And that's where it becomes a little bit of a technical issue.
Hey, what about driving under the influence? Because I saw those signs when it all got legal out here on the freeway. Hey, driving high is driving under the influence. How do they check people for that?
I'm not quite sure. It's not a breathalyzer. I know that. They got to do some type of blood test, I'm pretty sure, or a follicle test.
Yeah, but how are they going to do it? I mean, like you said, if it stays in your system 30 days, they can't tell you. I mean, what are they going to say? Oh, I heard somebody say something about the levels of it in there. I read a thing, and there's really no way to detect levels unless you spend millions of dollars to do a test.
Exactly, and they're not going to do that. That's just bullshit.
It's not like looking at a paper and look at the color. The color is going to tell you how much weed they smoked or when they smoked it. They're not that sophisticated.
Here's the other thing. Okay, you're an employer. You're looking to hire, and you're doing drug testing. Okay, it's legal in your state. How do you determine how long it's been? And that's the problem that's happening. Some states that have legalized marijuana are struggling to hire warehouse staff, forklift operators, the blue collar workers. So it's becoming a big issue.
Well, I think even with the legalization of it, right, it sort of opened the door up for, I guess, the baby boomer generation to go try that shit again. I mean, I've been a little curious, T. I don't know about you. I'm a little bit older cat.
Yeah, I know. I've been curious too, but
you're still a weed virgin, aren't you?
I am. But it doesn't mean that I haven't been curious.
I used to smoke back in the day in school and high school and college, but sort of dropped off for a while and just really didn't do it. And now these shops come out, and man, I'm a little bit leery, man, because now they say this stuff's like engineered and shit.
Yeah,
they got all sorts of crazy shit out there.
It's crazy stuff.
I'm an old dude, man. I don't want to be doing the chicken on the side of the road.
Speaking of the CBD stuff with the extracts and the oils, they have women's makeup lines now, women's body creams and facial creams and all this stuff, and they're sold out everywhere. It's actually.
What do you mean body creams?
Yeah, like lotions.
Weed body creams?
CBD extract.
Oh.
It's in.
But would I get high if I licked it?
I doubt it. I seriously doubt it.
Anyway, go ahead.
But it's sold out. Sephora, I believe. I saw a recent news. Something on the news about it, and they were sold out in Sephora. This is going crazy.
Yeah, no, it's huge, and I haven't heard too that this stuff is on the New York Stock Exchange. So these co-ops that are growing it or making it, whatever you want to call, or doing the things that they're doing, it's big money. It's huge money right now.
And the feds have to recognize that.
It's still federally illegal.
I know, and they're going at some point. It's just going to tip, and they're not going to be able to deny it anymore, and it's going to become the norm, especially with the millennials and the younger generation pushing it.
I don't think, I think we had this discussion a little bit pre-show when we were talking about it. When we made the comment, I think Dr. X brought it up, that these guys they're all cash businesses. He fucking knows. He goes in there. But I don't know, man, because over by where I stay, not in a nice area, but it's decent. And a lot of these newer shops opened up, and, I went into one just to see what's going on. It looks like a store.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a shady spot. I mean, it looks like an actual store. They got packaged items, they got things in there, and they charge tax.
Right.
I don't think that's a cash store there. I think because they take ATM and debit.
No, it is cash. Now, the reason why is because they cannot have a bank account. The problem that they're having is the feds, because it is still federally outlawed, no legitimate bank will touch them. So it is a cash business.
Then how can you use a debit card?
You can use a debit card, and it can go into an account as if it's cash, but the bank account, it's like it has to be a special bank account. You could only take out so much. It's highly regulated. It sucks. If I was a store owner, I would be really, really just shouting at the mountaintops right now, trying to get that stuff legalized for them.
I'm going to say something too, T. I don't know if you noticed, but these notes on this story is pretty good, man. Fucking Dr. X really hooked this one up, dude. I think it's all from personal experience.
I bet so. I bet it is, man.
The best shit we've had so far.
It
Look
probably
it's all
is.
About weed,
it's
man.
so detailed, man.
We should have given this dude a mic on this thing, bro.
All right. So we got a new section for you guys moving forward. It's called Men's Corner. So we're gonna try to hit one subject every single episode about men's topics. So let's get at it.
Yeah, no, we like you said, T. We're a man show, so we want to talk about things that guys talk about. One of the pressing things that they talk about, and things they talk about every day. Things that maybe some guys are afraid to talk about. But today we're gonna talk about sex.
Nice.
All right, so we're just gonna touch on a couple little things. I mean, are you monogamous, D? I mean, you're married. You in an open relationship? There's people out there in open relationships, man.
No, I'm a monogamous man. My wife and I were very happy with each other.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, a lot of people say that, right? But if you had a chance, T, would you be in an open relationship?
No, I don't think I could. I honestly don't think I could.
Because your wife would kick your ass?
No. I mean, even if we agreed to it, I just don't think I could. I don't think I could do that.
Okay, and same with me. I've had a couple marriages and gone through that, and had a couple relationships and things like that. But if your partner or wife approached you and said, "Hey, I want an open relationship," what would you think, man?
That would be hard. That would be hard for me, and it would take me. I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah.
Okay.
Not that kind of hard.
All right.
But it would take a lot of reflection, and I would have to have a very open and honest conversation with them as to why.
Okay, now you've been there, and you've been in that time, when you guys just sitting, chilling on the couch, talking, watching a movie. An actor comes on that she likes or something.
Mm-hmm.
And as a guy, you always ask the fucking question, babe, if this guy was here, would you cheat on me with him?
Yeah.
And then their answer is usually, oh, baby, no.
Of course.
And then they start walking with a snail trail.
Exactly.
It's like, come on.
And that's a bullshit lie.
Just say, yeah, you know what, honey? Yeah, I mean, just bone him. I mean, really, what's going to happen? I mean, yeah.
And most couples usually have that one celebrity, where that they would allow.
Okay, so if there was that situation and you had one and your partner had one and just the universe spun at the right speed.
Yeah.
And you both had the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
You guys are good with that? Or is it all talk?
I think it's all talk.
Exactly.
That's a lot of nuts.
Right. So it's I don't know. I think it's sort of like, what was that one movie, man, where that fucking dude where Robert Redford bought Demi Moore for the night? We get from Woody Harrelson.
Oh shit.
Indecent Proposal.
There you go.
Yeah, same shit. It was all cool to get the $1 million.
Right. But then afterwards,
when she started liking the dick, she started liking him. She started liking the guy. He's got money. You're gonna take you on a yacht. Not gonna take you to Mickey D's anymore. You're gonna go eat filet mignon. She drops Woody Harrelson, little dick for the big guy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
With the payroll.
Right. So, T, what we're going to talk about today is we're just going to go over some sex polls, right? We get this information off of one of these websites, and we're gonna pose a couple questions out there to our listeners, and we're going to sort of let you guys know what 1,000 people who they polled on this thing, what their answers were and the percentages and how it came out. So
I'm interested to see this.
I'm going to go ahead and get started, man.
Yeah, let's get at it.
All right, one of the first questions on that. Now, there were hundreds of questions on this poll and how they shook out and everything else. These guys must have been sitting there for hours answering these questions. And I hope they were truthful, and I think they were. Some of them the answers are a little bit, humorous or whatever, but how many people have naked photos of you, T?
I don't know. Does the internet Google search count?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of nuts.
Exactly. Anyway, all right. So according to this poll, man, the majority of people said nobody has a naked picture of them.
That's bullshit.
Okay.
I call bullshit.
Okay, let me have. What do you think? Is it a head to toe naked picture, or could it just be like a crotch shot, or a tit shot?
Anything.
Right.
I would say anything.
Right. That's bullshit. Right.
That's bullshit.
Okay, so it says here are the answers. So it says how many people have naked photos of you out of the 1,000 people? It says none. I don't send them or let people take them. 47%.
Bullshit.
The next is 43% of people say a few of my exes have naked pictures.
You lie! You lie!
Right. I mean, come on. I'm not like I'm sending the pictures out, but I take pictures of myself because I can blow them up and it makes me look bigger.
You got to trim too. That also makes it look bigger. You got to trim the hedges. It makes the stump look bigger.
Dude, yeah, but my weed whacker's out of string, bro.
Ooh.
Okay, so getting back to the poll. So that one is, 8% is no idea I send a lot. So
they were honest. 8% of the people were honest.
Hey, dude, I don't know how many people have them. I send a lot of that shit out. And then it's like whoever screenshots the drunk Snapchats, I send 2%. So, all right.
I don't know, man. I still think I call bullshit on all that.
I mean, hey, I like getting naked pictures of girls, but I don't know if they'd like.
I'm married, so I don't care.
Oh, jeez. We're gonna get Dr. X as a guest next week to talk about anything really. Oh, okay, let's do this, T.
Yeah.
Since you're really no fun in these sex polls because you really, you're monogamous. Why don't we get Dr. X to fill in?
I don't know how interesting he's gonna be since he's high all the time. I know he's chomping at the bit, but I don't think so.
Oh, look at him smile right now.
Yeah, look at that.
He thinks I'm serious. All right, we'll go to the next one, man. This thing's dragging a little bit. After one night stand, does the other person go home or do they stay the night? What do you think, T? Back in the day, let's forget about your marriage.
All right. Back in the day,
dog. Yeah, back in the day.
Go home.
Yeah, right.
GTFO, get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out. Especially, and I'm going to say this as a guy back in the day, even if you had your own pad, you weren't taking no girl to your own pad, right?
You didn't want to.
I didn't want her to know where I lived.
Right. So you start showing up.
Take her to $20 Momo, right? 3 hours, $20, man.
There you go.
Don't take the sheets down. Just put a towel down.
Just put a towel.
Right, so in this poll, right, after a one-night stand, the other goes home or stays the night. 41%, and the majority of these people say it didn't matter.
What?
Is that just crappy or what?
That's bullshit.
It's got to be white people, right?
They gotta be, man.
I mean, come on, man. Get the fuck out of there. You're not going to fucking stay the night on a one-night stand.
No, why?
I don't want to wake up next to that.
Why? Unless the other person was really hot. Okay, unless they were really hot and you're like, maybe I got a shot.
No, I know, dude. But what's really hot? I mean, you got beer goggles on, maybe. I mean,
no, but when you wake up after you start sobering up a little bit,
and her hair looks like Mufasa, and her face is in the pillow, and her makeup's like all over the place.
You can look at the body and say it's at least worth seeing what the rest of it's like.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you can.
But
yeah, I'm still running, dog.
I'm still struggling with that.
I'm running, man. So, like I said, 41% said it didn't matter. 27% said stay until the morning and maybe grab some breakfast.
What?
The fuck is that? The fuck on a one-night
breakfast
stand for a one-night stand? Yeah, you want some breakfast? How about some sausage smothered in shorts? The other 18% said, I'm going home. I like to have my bed to myself.
Well, yeah,
Well, it's not about that.
exactly.
It's not even about that. The other one is they can leave whenever.
No. As soon as we're
Right,
done, they can leave.
exactly.
Bye.
I might give them 5 minutes, man.
Yeah.
You know, you want to do the cuddle thing. You got 5 minutes.
Yeah. What are you
Yeah.
still doing here?
Because, right, what do they say? What is the greatest sense of a man is the 2 minutes after he has an orgasm. That's the most free time in his entire life.
Right.
After that, it all goes back to shit. So
It's
yeah,
like-
I'm going to give you 5 minutes, bitch.
Hey, that was great.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you. Bye. See you later. Okay.
All right.
So go ahead and read the next one, man.
All right. So one of the things you wish you could change about your penis, and other than making it mandingo, you know, I don't know about. I don't know. I mean, I'm happy with mine, to be honest with you. I got no complaints.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't want like stunt cock or nothing. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah.
Most people don't even know what that is. Stunt cock.
You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, I don't know. I mean, what do they got going on in this thing?
All
Tell
right.
me
So the very top one is I love it just the way it is at 45%.
That's a lot of nuts.
I
Yeah.
think that's it, man. What are you gonna say? I mean, at some point, you just learn to love it, right?
Well, I've always loved mine, so it's okay. You know, I've been blessed, you know, so I don't complain about that. So I fall in that 45%. I'm okay with that.
Right.
Now, the next largest one, again, another high number.
Why do you got to say largest? Go
What do you-
ahead, man.
The next one is bigger. The one
Yeah.
thing that they would change is they want it bigger, and that's 43% of men polled in this.
Well, fuck, dude. Do you ever? Well, I don't know because you're married now and you're all like virgined out. But you know, back in the day when you used to look at the porn sites,
I have no
And-
idea
and
what
they
that
would-
is.
and they would always show those guys those little itty peenies, and they're like, "Here, take this peel, and you'll grow like 8 inches in 2 weeks." That's the guy who wrote he wants bigger, dude. The
Look,
guy who can't even. He like the chicks look at him and say, "Dude, what?"
most
going on
guys, you know, that's what it is. It's always been one of those things where they always want a bigger penis because they think bigger is better. You know?
Well, when you got a 3-inch whammer, dude, bigger would be better.
Well, yeah, if you got yours, absolutely.
Well, dude, I got my 1-inch extender.
Okay, so you're up to 4. Wow.
Well, 3 7/8.
Right, there you go.
It's good for me. My palm is only so thick. Go ahead. Man.
So then it goes down. I mean, it drops significantly and it goes into less hair.
Less hair on your penis?
I
I mean, it says one thing you could change about your penis.
Right, less hair.
Okay, do you got hair growing out of your penis, T?
No.
I got hair on my sack.
I got hair on-
around my legs and under my groin, but I don't got any hair on my shaft, dude. Do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, look at the next one, man.
And less curved at 4%. Dude, seriously, dude, curve? What? I mean, seriously.
Less curve? I mean, are there dudes out there with like a 90-degree angle?
I
I mean, like,
I think there's something going on though because there was a commercial about that recently, like those medical commercials
well, no,
on there.
there's a condition that messes you up if your shit has too much curve in it.
Right.
So you're saying already 4% of these homeboys are
I
like,
think so.
fuck,
At least 4% of them do.
But look at the last one. Why would they even put that there? Is that like to
It's
show?
a
that's
0% smaller.
well, this is no brainer, dog.
Right.
I mean,
just to show you, like
even
nobody.
even like the 12-inch Mandingo is not going to say, I wanted to be smaller because my girlfriend can't take it.
Either
you know what
that
I mean?
or the blood flow that goes in there, he loses
loses-
consciousness.
Gets dizzy
Yeah.
when he gets a boner.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, go to the next one, T.
All right. So how often does your pickup game actually work?
I like that answer, man. I like the second answer, bro.
Well, let's start with the first one.
I know where that answer came from. Yeah, I'm going to give you the trivia on the second one. Yeah, I'm just excited, man.
Okay.
Go ahead. Keep
All
going.
right. So the number one answer is enough to keep me satisfied, and that's at 46%.
I'll go ahead and give the second answer to you. It's at 20%. It's the second one. How often does your pickup game actually work? 60% of the time, it works every time.
Yeah, that ain't shit, dude. Come on. I'm a stats guy. You know that. I work
That
in.
came from Ron Burgundy.
I'm
man.
working numbers.
That
Come
came from
on. I
Brian
know that is.
Fantana and fucking Ron Burgundy.
Shout out to Ron Burgundy. He just did the Kings game. That was awesome.
Is hockey season still going?
Yes, sir.
Anyway. So we're going to go down a little bit, and this is one of the ones that I liked. I want to talk about it.
All right, which one?
It says, how often do you watch porn?
Me never.
I don't think that's true.
No, it is.
Okay, here's a stat for you. 99% of all men masturbate.
Okay.
The other 1% lie about it. Okay.
Congratulations.
So how often do you watch porn? The greater number of people said multiple times a week.
Right.
The next one was once a week. The next answer after that was once a month. The next highest one was once a day.
And then the last one is what you fall into.
7+ times a week.
Yep.
Absolutely. But
Yep.
here's the question they should have asked, T. You want to know the question they should have asked?
What's that?
How long do you watch porn?
I don't know, 5 minutes?
5 minutes? It takes me longer to find a vid
Right.
than really
Than to watch it?
Yeah. That's why they only do 5-minute clips on these videos, man. Because they know the average guy's already right there, ready to go. Right?
Okay. All right. Transitioning from that, where do you learn most of your bedroom moves from?
From porn.
Well, number one answer at 49% was trial and error.
Trial and error?
Trial and error. I mean,
So what? Oh, let me try to put that in this hole. See what happens.
these second, that's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen. The second most popular one was what you see in porn. That's at 24%.
Bullshit, man. I mean, trial and error.
I love
What is
I love what's tied with number 2 though. At 24%, inherited talent.
Where do you learn most of your bedroom moves? Inherited talent.
Inherited talent.
Like it's genetics?
Yes.
Get the fuck out.
I was born with this.
Get the fuck out.
That's a lot of nuts.
No, okay. Then it drops significantly to 1% from online articles. I don't know. I mean, you can't read, so I don't know how the hell that is. But
let's get my shit from porn.
okay,
bro.
but the last one tied with
I did
at
this
one.
move the other day with the chick was flipped, like, but I couldn't reach it because my extender fell off. Go ahead.
So the last one at 1% is they learn it from their friends.
What do you mean? Like we sit around talk about the moves we do on our ladies?
I'm wondering is there some kind of demonstration going on?
I mean,
I'm not quite picturing it. G, can you show me?
well, I've never really talked about that with my boys. dude.
Neither
I mean,
do
I
I.
mean, don't get me wrong. Like, hey, bro, yeah, I stuck it in her pooper. But I'm not sitting there telling her, like, what happened or how I went
like,
in there.
Seriously, I don't get into details of that.
No, and I'm not
No,
talking
then I flipped her around and I'm doing it. No,
Yeah, no, man.
I don't get that, man.
Yeah, I don't either.
Who the fuck are these people?
Well, that's 1% of 1,000. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
still,
that's
man.
still 10 people.
Right.
So 10 of these guys are talking to their friends, are talking to each other.
All right, I got a question for you.
All right.
Would you let other people watch you have sex?
Yeah.
Well, then you're in the majority. 54% of the people said yes.
Yeah, but 46% said no. It's a toss-up. It's a 50-50.
Yeah.
What about you, man?
Me? I don't think I could. I'd probably get stage fright.
Okay, what about this? Okay, you ever see those two-way mirrors?
Yeah.
So say you're with this hot chick, right, whatever. Just even your wife. You guys are in a romantic setting.
My wife is a hot chick.
This is in a romantic setting, you know, getting into it, and you start having sex, but you know you got a mirror there, but you really can't see nobody on the other side, but you know there's people watching.
Yeah.
Would that change it?
That's a lot of nuts.
No, I don't think it would.
Yeah, I'm all for it, man.
Yeah, I'm sure you
all
are.
for it, man.
I'm sure you are.
Hey,
All
we're
right.
going to go ahead and get into some sports right now, guys. That was a little lengthy, T, man. You know what?
It's a little long.
It's hard for two guys to sit here and talk about sex. We need to have a woman in here when we're discussing this, man. I know it's a man show,
Yeah, I think we need to get
but
a
we need
perspective.
a woman's point of view.
Yeah, we need to get a female perspective.
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, make sure that, you know, she's sitting over here on this desk over here, bro.
Yeah, have fun with that. All right, so we're going to go into sports, man. We're going to talk about some NFL. We're going to talk about some NBA. Obviously, we're going to talk about some March Madness.
March Madness and our brackets. We're going to give you an update on our brackets, see how
Yeah.
Mr. Sweet T's doing.
Shut up. All right, let's go. Let's start off with
The NFL. NFL is king here. NFL is king. I love the NFL. So what we're going to do, man, we're just going to give a little bit of, there's always stuff to go in the NFL. Today, what we're going to talk about is an update on free agency. We're going to talk about what went down, who went where, why they went there, what's going on. I'm going to give my take. I'm also going to give you 3 big-name predictions to get cut before the draft. Sort of easy for me, sort of figuring this shit out.
Yep.
You know, so let's just get into it, man. I like
Let's do
talking
it.
football. So first thing we're going to talk about is where all these guys went to. The big one we'll talk about, man, first, what's going on in Miami, T? They just got Fitzmagic on a couple-year deal.
Yeah, to me, they thrown in the towel. They're trying to get the #1 draft for next year. They're not trying to compete for shit.
Nah, that's what everybody's saying. They're in the Tua sweepstakes already. They want to, try to crap out next year and get Tua. But that's a little bit of a crapshoot. I mean, you don't know really where you're going to fall. That means for you to secure the #1 pick in the NFL, you're looking at maybe 3 or less losses.
Right.
Or 3 or less wins, I'm sorry.
But here's the thing. Everybody else in the NFL has gone out and tried to get better some way, somehow. What did they do?
Well, I mean, they had some pieces, and they thought they were going to make a run. They got the coach they thought was good, but the problem with the coach is he can't mesh with his players. As a head coach, he's just shitting on everybody. No one wants to play for him. Now they shipped him over to New York. We'll see what happens there with him, but I think they're better off without him. New culture. Give Ryan Tannehill a fresh start. I mean, the guy wasn't bad. He got beat up. I don't know, man. I think that
He just couldn't stay healthy.
I think the organization just got a little bit of a raw deal.
It's just a bad organization, period.
Well, yeah, I think so too. So hopefully he turns it around and there's a bit more. I don't know. I don't want to say better football coming out of Miami, but at least a little bit of more competition.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see. But to me, I think they gave up.
No, I agree. So, some other guys that went. What about the Clay Matthews thing to the Rams? First of all, man, I mean, Green Bay is blowing themselves up. They got rid of 2 of their fame guys, right? I mean, the guys that were just there forever, Clay Matthews and Randall Cobb in the same day.
Yeah, and they didn't really do much. They got a safety.
Well, they're not into
from
free
Chicago.
agency. You look at the patterns there. They build through the drafts. Since they had Ted Tollner and all these guys over there that've been built in this thing, they build through the draft. They come up and that's their motto. They don't want to spend a lot of money. They'll wait till the end of free agency and get to deals like New England does.
Yeah, they're bargain basement.
Yeah, so it's like we talked about, man. I mean, Belichick's on the sand on the first week of free agency. We don't want to overpay for any of this talent.
No, they're not going to.
So,
but
they never will. So that's when all their coaches take a vacation.
Yeah, but here's the difference between Belichick and them. Okay, Belichick can know and see who is the right fit and which bargain guys are the right fit for their system.
The reality is he's got the quarterback that works in his system. He doesn't even have to think about that side of the ball. It's easy.
Yeah.
So, we talked about Randall Cobb leaving. He went to the Cowboys. Cowboys now looking like they're getting a little bit of some weaponry over there with Amari.
Oh, my God. Who the hell cares?
I know, man, but still, they're going to be decent. They got some weapons, man. You have Amari Cooper. They got Randall Cobb now, who's your underneath guy. You got Zeke over there. I'm not high on Dak Prescott, but you know what? If he can manage a game, they could do well. The other big name that
doesn't Randall Cobb run like a 5-minute 40?
No, man. Actually, that little dude.
He's old, dude.
Well, okay.
And
you remember
broken.
Week 1 last year? Week 1.
Yeah.
Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Playing Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
85-yard touchdown catch, Randall Cobb. He ran for 70 yards and no one could catch him. I don't give a shit how much they time him. They couldn't catch him. He ran 80 yards on an NFL field. He could still play.
All right.
Shit, I hate that game. Anyway, Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram went to the Ravens. Ravens are starting to build themselves up as more of a running team now, and they're going to have to build that behind Lamar. We know that. We know his arm is a little bit suspect. So, Mark Ingram over there changes what they do in New Orleans now. I think they'll be a little bit more high-flying. I think they tried to be more of a running team when he came back off a suspension last year, and it sort of threw him off in a couple games.
Right.
But the first games that they had with Kamara, even though they lost that first game to Fitzmagic in Tampa or whatever, when he that shootout, Fitzmagic when he blew up, Kamara's he's ridiculous. So it's gonna blow him up now. They don't got to worry about that.
I like that
side.
Ingram pickup. I really do.
Well, the fact that they just really haven't had a good running back there. They've been running back by committee, and they're going to do the same thing now, but at least they have a little bit of a feature back now to deal with. So, yeah, I like it too.
I do.
The other one that was a big name out there, and we're going to talk about this one a little bit, is Vontez Burfict going to the Raiders.
Oh, come on, man.
I know you say that, T, but, here you go again.
How I feel? I don't like dirty players like that. If you're that talented, there's no reason to be dirty like that.
Yeah, I know, man. But some guys are what they are, and this guy, to me, I sort of like him, but that's just me. I'm just saying, look, the guy's got some health issues. He is concussion master. He's having a
because he plays dirty.
He's a series of concussions, dude, and he's had a series of things. And the thing,
I think they overpaid for him too.
Oh, absolutely. But here's the thing, man. If you don't play, you don't get paid. You get paid once you make the roster. It's a 1-year thing. They can cut him after any year in the NFL. Only guaranteed money is your signing bonus. So, I mean, they really didn't stretch for him. But here's the thing. Think about this one, T. What was the big rivalry when they were in Cincinnati? When Cincinnati was actually on the cusp of doing good.
Steelers.
And who did Burfict knock out of the game?
AB.
And now they're on the same team.
Yep.
I want to be in that locker room, bro.
And AB's acting like a cuck. He's over there.
Well, he's the man.
No,
he's the man over
no.
there.
But he's on social media acting like a cuck. I got no problem with that and things like that. And he had blasted Burfict in
That's a lot of
social media.
nuts.
No, that's a lack of nuts, dude. He's got no nuts.
Stay in your lane, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think this is how this thing plays out. That's how this sport is. One day you're the enemy, next day you're my buddy.
Yeah, but that was a little personal.
Right. So now, I mean, the draft's it's coming up here in a little bit, man.
Yep.
The draft's coming up, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it out there, man. I'm going to put my 3-inch extender out there, and I'm going to go ahead and drop some big.
Whoa.
Well, it's a 1-inch extender on a 3-incher. I just tried to throw a little
Come
extra
on,
out there,
man.
dude.
Stop trying to squeeze shit in.
Dude, why do you quit messing with me, man? Yeah, thanks, Dr. X. Anyways.
Thank you. He is a fucking donkey. Go
All
ahead.
right, man. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some predictions, bigger name guys that are basically going to get cut. I mean, these guys, there's nothing wrong with their play. There's nothing wrong with what they do. They might even be the best guy on their team. But some of these teams got to let people go. This salary cap kills people and the lack of management of the salary cap. I mean, there's teams out there that have no money towards the cap.
Yep.
And it makes it easy for me to predict who's got to get cut.
All right, so let's bring it.
All right, so the first one I'm going to talk about is your favorite team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I love Tampa.
These guys are just so fucked up completely, man.
They
from ownership down. They just Dimitrov, whoever they got over there. I don't even know who they got over there. Fuck, this guy sucks. Dimitrov's in Atlanta, I think. But anyways, what I'm saying is, I mean, these guys are so bad. They have the league low cap room right now at like $1.5 million in cap space.
And what's their outcome? What is their balling that they get for that? Nothing. These guys are fucking dog shit. They get nothing for it. No production, nothing.
You got Jameis Winston.
Right, who's a head case. Now, I will say this, okay? I'll give them a little bit of props. They just hired 2 female coaches, which is great, but I find it a little bit ironic since you have a guy in Jameis Winston who has problems with masculinity and doing wrong shit against females.
Yeah.
How is he going to respect them? How is he going to see them as a coach? That's a recipe for disaster.
All right, T, I'm going to call you out a little bit.
All right, bring it.
Last week on our show, you talked shit about Freddie Kitchens.
Yep.
He's a head coach.
Yep.
He was a coordinator for a minute, but he was a coordinator.
For 1 minute.
But he was a coordinator.
Yep.
What are these ladies' background? And why aren't you giving them shit?
Because they're gonna be assistant coaches. They're coordinators. They're not a head coach.
But to be a coordinator, you got to have something. I don't think this lady's been a fucking coach for 15, 20 years. Like these other guys have paid their dues.
2 of them have gone through the rankings. I mean, 2 of them have gone through the gauntlet.
Gauntlet of what? 2 or 3 years of the gauntlet? There's guys in this league been in this shit for 20 years. And they didn't get an opportunity. That's the problem with me. Don't jump the line just because you're a different type of... I'm just saying that. Don't let them jump the line for minority purposes to save their face.
Maybe they're good. Maybe they're good. Maybe they deserved it. If you're a coordinator for 20 years,
soft, bro.
Wait a minute. If you're a fucking coordinator for 20 years and you don't get a chance, let me ask you, what have you been doing wrong?
You got knocked the fuck out!
No, you wish you did.
I'm just saying, man. No, it's not that. It's sometimes you just don't have an opportunity. Sometimes you stick around in situations. It plays out different. But then again, there you go, man.
Yeah, whatever.
So I'm going to go ahead and start with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One of their best players on defense is Gerald McCoy. Gerald McCoy's defensive tackle, Pro Bowler for the last 4 or 5 years, best player on their line. They got to let him go, man.
I agree.
I mean,
I think
what else
do.
can they do?
Yeah.
I mean, they're draft class team. I mean, you got to figure any draft class roughly is going to cost you $10 million.
And they are not going to be able to afford their draft class.
They won't be able to sign any of the guys they draft. So
Yeah.
all these they're gonna try to trade these guys and get a 5th round pick, 4th round pick, anything
No.
they can get because they're just gonna end up releasing them anyway.
Yeah,
So yeah,
You gotta-
unfortunately,
you
Gerald
gotta-
McCoy's gonna be out there, and someone's gonna fucking scoop him up.
right away.
I mean, this guy's he's gonna be one of the hottest guys. But again, he's not a free agent. He's gonna be a victim of a cut.
Yep.
The other one is your team, Pittsburgh, that you keep whacking off over. I hate Pittsburgh, but
I hate Pittsburgh too.
you know, remember when they did all that trade shit and whatever else, and Joe Hayden? They got Joe Hayden from Cleveland. Joe Hayden had a problem with the coach back in the day, and they ended up firing the coach 2 weeks later.
Yep.
But he shipped off their best defensive back, Joe Hayden, gave him to Pittsburgh. But now Pittsburgh's in the same spot, man.
Pittsburgh has salary issues.
Well, they got dead money, too, from AB.
Yep.
So, yeah, they're sort of paying, you know, like more than even
What is it, 19, 20 million for AB?
something like that.
It's
And
ridiculous.
It's stupid. And, you know, Joe Hayden really, in all fairness, only makes about $12 million a year. But they're going to have to let him go just so they can sign their draft class as
Yeah,
well.
they got to free up some
So
space.
that's the guy I think they'll let go. They've already asked him to restructure. He told them to go blow it out their ass. I mean,
I think he's looking forward to getting cut.
I don't know about that, but I think it's sort of like, hey, man, don't come at me to fix your fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't. I'm not the guy that's going to be the guy to help you guys bail your shit out.
Right. I
'Cause
didn't
he
cause
can-
this
he
problem.
can go wherever else and probably make more money.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I said he's probably okay with that.
So I think Joe Hayden will get cut as well, T. I know it's a big name out there, but I'm just going to go and throw that guy out. The other one I'm going to go with, man, and it's a bit dear to our hearts, but this fucking fire hydrant train caboose is going to get cut by the Chicago Bears, man. Jordan Howard.
Yep. I saw that one coming.
He doesn't fit Nagy's system. We were thinking, man, we didn't even think he's going to make it through training camp last year. All of a sudden, Nagy came out in training camp. Jordan Howard's my starter. He supported him, man. He had to do that. He knew roster-wise, personnel-wise, he didn't have the right person to make that really position jump at that time. He had to go with what he went last year.
He did. You know, Nagy kind of, I don't know. There was times I thought that Nagy was trying to get him going a little bit more than he had to. I thought that Nagy was kind of pushing it.
Well, the recipe was almost like the New England recipe, the Atlanta recipe. Get up big on him, score some points, and then put the bruiser back in.
Right.
Let him just run you down.
Yeah, but I think Cohen was a lot better fit for that system, and you know
Who?
what did I just say?
Fuck, I don't even know. You said Colin. Colin
No,
Kaepernick?
I said Cohen.
Cohen. Oh, you sounded like you had pity dick in your mouth, dude. I didn't hear you.
Shut up.
I'm just saying, dude. Yeah, all right. So you said Cullen.
No.
Yeah, all right. But his name is Tariq Cohen. But
I
he's
said
not
Cohen.
But he's not an everyday back either.
He's not, but he's a much better fit for Nagy's system because he could catch the ball out of the backfield.
No, but they want to move that guy around. They want the mismatch on him. They want him to go in the slot. They want him to go on the outside. They want him to increase his receiving skills. They want him to be the matchup problem for the defense.
He already is.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, they'll run him at tailback, but probably only 10, 12 times a game.
You know, what was it Collins that got this big contract and everybody was shitting on the fact that, you know, New York let him go? The prime video that they were showing about Colin was Tariq Cohen burning past him and exploiting him.
Yeah, that's one moment in time. The guy's a stud. Collins is a stud. They would have paid him. The Bears should have got him. Anyway, so Jordan Howard's going to be out of there. He's done. And that it's not even a cap move.
No,
I mean the Bears got cap
They
space.
got cap
he only
space.
makes about $2.5 million.
it's just
They
he's not a
signed
fit.
Mike Davis, the journeyman from Seattle, just to figure, fuck, if we don't get anybody decent in the draft, you know, when we have our draft compilation, I'm going to give you a couple late round sleepers, running backs that the Bears might take.
Nice.
But, yeah, man, I mean, it's just a matter of a fit. They're just going to cut the guy loose. He's not really even a burden on their salary cap. They just have no need for him.
Yeah,
And that's sort of a shame. You
It
know,
is,
but that's
it
sort
is.
of how the NFL
but somebody
goes.
will pick him up.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah,
You know, a guy
I-
like that, maybe he's going to go into AAF.
No, he's not going to drop that far.
Okay, hey, Flash. Okay, we could use that. Thanks, Dr. X. But a little AAF flash for you, bro. When we got done with the show last week, don't you remember the call I gave you when I got home? I
Yeah,
was watching the AAF.
yeah, you were.
Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen only, Johnny Manziel has signed a contract with the All-American Alliance of Football.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Exactly. Nobody
That's a lot of
fucking
nuts.
cares.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's somebody. At least I can watch the games and know who's playing.
Call me when Kaepernick signs there.
Kaepernick. They offered Kaepernick
I know.
to play there. He said he'd play for $10 million or $12 million.
Right.
Their standard contract's $250,000.
Pay him. He's going to be their marquee guy. He's going to be the face of the whole entire league.
Oh, there you go, sucking on
Pay
Colin
him.
Kaepernick's dick again.
Pay
That's
up,
what you
sucker.
were thinking, dude. Then when you said Cohen, you were thinking about your boyfriend, Colin Kaepernick. Go ahead and go to the next subject, dude.
All right, moving on to NBA playoffs. All right. NBA playoff structures already said. I mean, the Lakers got eliminated last night. We already know what are the top teams. You know, you and I talked about it last week. We talked about the Warriors out in the West. We talked about what other teams other than the Warriors out West that we like. When we started talking about the East, I said the Raptors, you said the Bucks. Well, if you're looking at the playoff brackets right now, like where it stands in the East, we got the Bucks at number 1. We got the Raptors at number 2. And we got the 76ers at number 3. But I will say this, the Bucks and the Raptors both have a better record than the Warriors at this point.
Yeah, and that's a little bit unusual, too.
It is.
You know, you think about it, too, but they were trying to, I guess, you know, give this some validity the other day. I was listening to Stephen A. Smith or one of these guys, basketball guys.
Yep.
And they're saying this year the West was a little bit more even. Let's just use that word, a little bit more competitive.
It's a lot more
And
competitive.
they beat each other up.
Yeah.
And that's why their wins are down. I don't necessarily agree with that, but
I do. I really do because, you know, the East is so weak. You're going to have a couple teams in the East that are strong, and they're just going to beat up on everybody and feed off of them. You know, in the West, you got guys that are just killing each other.
no, absolutely. Yeah, but I mean, you think about it too, T. Look at it in the Western Conference, right? I mean, the Clippers are the 6th team and could possibly be the 4th seed.
Yeah, but they're not going to go far, and we know that.
No, but I think the Jazz are a better young team than the Clippers. I mean, the Clippers might be playing better in the moment.
We'll find
but,
out
you
next
know,
year.
I think the Spurs have moments where they ran 6-7 games in a row. They can make some noise.
If we're talking about the
And-
Clippers right now, though, yeah. But if we're going to talk about the Clippers next year, they're going to be more exciting because I think the free agency market, they're going to be a good market
You know,
to go
hey,
to.
good shit, Dr. X. You finally fucking woke up, man. You did some good stuff here. So looking at the last 10 games of these guys, look at the Clippers' last 10 games.
Yeah.
9-1.
9-1.
They've won 9 out of the last 10 games. And
Yeah,
the
they have
Rockets
4 in a
won
row,
8
though.
out of
The streak
8
is
of the
4 in a
last 10.
row.
The other thing in the Western Conference is sort of getting me in the surprise, and I know a lot of people are jumping on this now and starting to go the bandwagon here, but the Nuggets, man, what about those guys?
Wow, you know, the Nuggets are pretty good, man. Their record is tied with the Warriors. You know, they have 5 wins in a row. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. They're strong, man. They're right there.
No, I could see that, T, but you know what? I mean, the reality is they're not going to do much in the playoffs.
I think they're going to go second round.
You know, I really think the Warriors they're just playing with everybody. It's going to be the Warriors, the Rockets, you know what I mean?
Durant's got to get back healthy.
You know, they're just resting him, man. You know, I just don't think there's anybody else compete with those guys, and they don't have the talent.
I think they're going to be coasting
You
into
know,
the
I mean,
playoffs. They're
even
going
though
to turn it on.
I talked about OKC and Portland and those guys coming out of there. I think, you know, and I'm going to go on a ledge and still keep that, but the reality is the Warriors are sick. And if those guys get their head out of their ass, which I don't think they will, but if they did, man, you know what? They would just smash everybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
they're
no, that's
6 and
sick.
4 in their last 6 and 4 in their last 10 games.
Absolutely.
They're just waiting for the playoffs to start.
But, you know,
But
you
I
and
don't
I
know
went
if they
back
can
and
turn
forth.
this on.
But you and I went back and forth. Let's go to the East. You and I went back and forth with that. You know, Bucks and Raptors. And they're right there. They're neck and neck right now. You know? I mean, you're looking at the records. It's a 3-game difference. That's nothing. You know, the 76ers, I'm still not sold on the 76ers, man.
Hey, T, let me ask you this, man. I was listening to a podcast or something today. I was listening to some NBA podcasts just to sort of get a little background because I really honestly suck at the NBA.
Yep.
So this guy made this comment, and these guys, they were all chiming in. They were big-name guys, I guess, guys that really do stuff in the NBA for the 4-letter network and stuff. And
Yep.
they said, is Embiid the most unstoppable player in the NBA?
A lot of them say yes.
They all said yes.
Yeah.
And you know what? I didn't look at the guy that way. And then when they started explaining what he does, and, you know, I've seen some of his games, you know what? They're probably right.
And he's what, 7'3"?
Yeah, man. But, I mean, my first thought would have been Giannis. Because no one can match up with Giannis. He's too athletic, even for Embiid.
Giannis is athletic, but Embiid is just other level, dude.
Well, not just that, but Embiid actually shoots better threes.
He does.
Than Giannis does.
He does. And at this point, Simmons is a non-factor for them right now.
Well, Simmons isn't about shooting anyway. They knew that last
He
year. The
can't
guy's-
shoot for shit. That's
well,
why.
he can't even get the 5-footer down, bro.
No.
He's just layup or bust.
Right.
So, yeah, exactly. So, I
He's
mean,
got
they,
no shot.
They knew what they had in him. He's a facilitator. You know what I mean? So that's all with him. He's just a bigger size facilitator. The one that's just shocking the shit out of me is the Celtics, right?
Yeah, man. I would have expected them to be a lot higher up on that
I
list.
mean, look, they made
one or
they
two
made the
in the
Eastern
East.
Conference Finals last year,
Right.
without Uncle Drew.
Right.
Now you got Uncle Drew back, and they're saying that's a problem. And Gordon Hayward.
And Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward broke his leg. That was their
Yes.
number one free agent
Right.
last year, and they got him.
Yeah.
So
You know,
dude.
they're having a chemistry issue.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and that's really what it is. There's,
Uncle Drew doesn't like playing with white guys. Is that what you're saying?
no,
I think that's what
I
you
didn't
said.
say that.
You
I
did,
said
man.
they have a chemistry issue.
Pass the ball, Kobe.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm just saying, dude.
I'm just, you know what? I'm disappointed that the Celtics couldn't get it together because they have the
Disappointed.
talent.
Fuck the Celtics, dude. And we're Laker fans, dude. Fuck the Celtics.
Of course, but we're talking about
Hey,
the
you know what?
East.
And last week, Dr. X fucked us, dog.
Why?
Because on our show notes, he said that the Lakers were eliminated from the playoffs.
Oh,
I got an alert last night when they lost to Brooklyn. They were officially eliminated from
last
the
night.
playoffs. Yeah,
no.
last
But
night.
he knew that they were going to get eliminated. That was him predicting.
Yeah, but man, but he can't put it out there. What if we would have been wrong? That would have been a subtraction and a retraction.
A retraction.
Subtraction and retraction.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, yeah. Let's
all
go
right,
ahead and move on.
So
man.
let's move on. What do we got on the platter next?
Woo, yeah, baby. We're gonna talk about March Madness, all right? Yeah.
Don't
we're gonna go ahead
don't
and
get
throw
me
this
started
out
on
there,
that
folks.
shit.
So, hey, if anybody's out there, you guys, you know, we tried to hook this up on our website, guys, and fucking Dr. X sucks. So we had some technical difficulties. We're still gonna try to post our results up there, take screenshots somehow. We were talking about it this morning, but we're on the ESPN bracket challenge, and we're signed up on the Stephen A. Smith's group. You can see Sweet Tea and R.W. King on there.
Nice.
How you doing there on yours, huh? Buddy? Huh, buddy?
Come on. I'm at what, 230?
Yeah, you're at
I have
230.
230
So
230
basically in the
points.
first round, folks, it's 10 points per win.
Right.
So the guys that are still in the perfect would have 320 points.
Right. And I'm at 230. Okay.
Okay, so you lost 9 games.
Right.
So you lost 9 out of 32 games.
Yep.
Yeah, that sort of sucks, dude. But anyways, yeah. so
Seriously? All right. What'd you do?
I got 260.
That ain't shit, dude. You're what, 3 games ahead of me? Big deal.
But I got a fireball at the end of mine, man, because
It
my
doesn't
score's
matter,
in the
man.
higher
As-
tier, dude.
And then once we start hitting those extra tiers, and I get those extra points.
Hey, what have you done for me lately? I got a fireball after the first round.
Yeah,
dude. Did
I'm
you
not
see
worried
that? I
about
was showing
that.
you guys that this morning.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that
Yeah,
one.
folks, I came in here all fired up on my phone showing these guys the fireball at the end of my fucking
Because you picked
bracket.
Irvine. Wow.
Well,
Wow.
yeah, I just want to throw that
You
out
went
there,
out on
dude.
a limb
And
on that
actually,
one.
Dude, I bet him on the money line, dude, so I fucking hit big yesterday. That's sort of why I'm in a good mood, but we said we were going to talk about gambling on this show. But yeah, you know, March Madness is going down right now, and it's all about Zion
It's
still.
all about Zion, man. Everybody cares about Zion. Nobody cares about anybody else. And I'm telling you, Zion last night, he balled out. You know, he showed what he's capable of doing. It wasn't the greatest, but this is the first game that he's ever played in March Madness.
No, yeah, you're right. No, he's a beast, and he's doing good, but I just don't think they're going to make it all the way. I think that somehow...
I got him going all the way.
Yeah, I know you do, man. I told you I had Kentucky. I stuck with Kentucky. Right after we had our show, Kentucky ended up losing in the conference tournament, so I definitely heard that from these two people out there. It's just a matter of minutes, a matter of time before this whole thing crumbles on Sweet Tea and his bracket's going to go
Just
to
wait.
shit.
I'm primed
Duke's gonna
right
lose
there.
it. Yeah. Mhm.
I'm
We'll see.
primed right there.
But we're still trying to get this stuff up on our site, and then we'll take care of it.
All right. All right. So let's move on to baseball, man. I know we didn't want to talk a lot about baseball, but I got to
Dude,
say.
I thought we were going to cut this shit out.
No. Hold on. All right. So baseball, let's talk about the season starting, and nobody even cares, man. It started in Japan.
Well, they did that shit for Ichiro, dude.
They did.
You
They
know,
did.
and but let's stop right here, okay? I told you guys baseball sucks. Baseball's it's fucking crap now. But I'm going to give my props to Ichiro, dog.
He's the man.
He had a great career. This guy came in. He was up against it. Everyone was just doubting him. This guy was a stick, dog. Night in, night out. Just hitting
Didn't
the
miss
ball
games.
everywhere. He was the man,
Never
dude.
struck out. Never walked.
Hats off
just
to you,
hit the
Suzuki
ball.
Ichiro. Hats
Yep,
off to you, bro.
absolutely.
Great career.
Absolutely. Props
So go
to
ahead,
him.
man. Keep going.
All right. So we got our shout out to Ichiro. Season started in Japan. And does anybody even care? was
That's
Seattle.
my point, man.
It was Seattle.
That's what we talked
and the
about
A's.
last week. Okay, yeah, I mean, it wasn't opening day, but shouldn't the MLB market that shit?
You would think that should have been a big deal.
Okay, and I understand the time difference, but sort of make them day games so they can come on in an hour where at least people can watch them, not like 3 or 4 in the morning, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. You know,
I
it's
just
not.
think
They're
it's
not even
fucking
trying. They don't even
stupid.
care.
Yeah, I just think it's fucking stupid.
All right. What about Mike Trout's new contract?
Well, we were talking about this pre-show, guys, and you know what? Hats off to Mike Trout. He is the best player in baseball, but he's the most boring player in baseball.
He is.
This guy won't even do any pub
You
for the
couldn't- you
team. He
couldn't-
won't do any pub for the Major League
Let
Baseball.
me say this: you could not see him walk in a room and know who he is.
Well, you would, dude, just because he's Mike Trout. But the problem is, guys, is that he's the face of baseball. He is the best player the Major League Baseball organizations, any one of them has, and he does nothing for the sport.
He's the Ned Flanders.
Yeah, he doesn't go out and fucking promote the sport and put it out there, and he's not the face of the MLB, and they need that. So that's sort of why that idiot Bryce Harper is. So he's sort of it by default. But, hey, you know what? Hats off to Trout, too. He's a stud.
He made his money.
He made his money.
He got
and he's
paid.
just happy. He just wants to go home after the games and play video games or wherever the fuck he's from, or Philadelphia, whatever the fuck he does over there. So
And I'm going to tell you, the next thing is $430 million, and that's nothing. That's for 12 years. In the next couple of years, there's going to be somebody that's gone way, way beyond that.
well, we were talking about that before the show started, right? This is the same thing even in other sports, right? So we talked about these big contracts and guys signed for 10 years. We just talked about Julio Jones. Back in the day, 6 years ago, whatever it was, Julio Jones signed this huge contract. The last 2 years, they're restructuring it because now he's not even making shit compared
He's
to these
nothing.
guys.
He's nothing, and he's one of the top 3
And
producers.
that's what'll happen to Trout.
Yeah.
You know, and we talked about that too, and, you know, there I was showing my age because you guys looked at me like I was an idiot. But back in the day, Magic Johnson signed a 20-year, $20 million contract, and I went crazy. And you guys both looked at me like if I was like, what?
That's nothing.
Yeah, but
That's
anyway. go
That's
ahead,
entry
man.
level shit. All right. So let's move on from sports, man. What do we got next?
We're going to go into the what the fuck news, man. You know, I mean,
News team, assemble!
all right. Dr. X with his new sound bites over there, man. Yeah, he's having fun with this thing. That's what it's all about. So, yeah, go ahead and get yourself up. Pull your finger out of your... Anyways. So, yeah, man, you know, the what the fuck news segment is not just funny news, but it's just things that makes you say, what the fuck, tease. So, you know, we're going to get into one. The first one we're going to talk about is this guy, R. Kelly. I mean, this guy's he's a joke.
This guy's a serious joke.
I mean, I got my say on him, you know that. But listen, man, this guy, you know, you know all the story about him, and I'm not going to get into that. But this guy isn't going through this court thing now because of all the bullshit he does and all the crap he does with these young women. And they called him and they caught him on it. And now he's getting busted for it. So he's going through the court thing, but he can't leave the states, man. He can't even leave certain states. He can't go into other states. It's all regulated now.
Right.
He went to court this week and asked the judge if he could travel to the United Arab Emirates, which is Dubai.
Yeah.
So he could put on some shows there to make some money. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a joke because, you know, he can just stay there. You know, and if I was the judge, I would say hell no.
Well, it's a non-extradition country.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I mean? So yeah.
So my answer is,
hey, my name is Roland Polanski. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna fucking hang out
yeah,
there for
sure,
the next
that sounds
20
like a
years.
good fucking idea. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, so to me, man, I mean, I thought this was a no-brainer, right? Judge is gonna go in there and say, hey, dude, no, dude. You know, it's not like you're asking me to go to Puerto Rico.
No,
It's
I
not
know.
like you're asking me to go. You know what I mean? It's not like you're asking me to go to Alaska.
Yeah.
Right? You're asking me to
You're
go
going
to
to a
Dubai.
different
Yeah.
country that
No,
doesn't
man.
extradite.
No,
You know,
man. Yeah.
and now his team, his own lawyer, though, right before the judge was about to hand down his ruling, said, whoa, before you do that, I want to give you some more evidence and show you some more things because they're claiming that he can't make money here because of all the negative press that's going on. So that the only place he can make money is in Dubai.
All right. Well, that's good. You deserve it, man. So
What does that say about Dubai if they're willing to do that?
Yeah, you know what? Well, I'm not even going to go there.
Exactly.
You know what? Hey, Dr. X, let's go ahead and put that on the board too, man. I got some stuff about Dubai, man, and Donald Trump.
Oh,
You know, I read some documentaries and I read them. Remember the
Come
last show,
on.
asshole? You called me out, said I don't read. I do
You
read.
don't read.
I read it. Dr. X, I read that shit, dog. Don't support him, man.
Come on,
All
doctor.
right, dude,
Let's
no,
do this, man.
no,
Yeah,
that's what
you
I'm
know,
saying.
you know, I'm
guys-
telling the
no,
truth.
Fuck that. No, I read this thing, and you know, Trump built some resorts down there
Yeah,
in
he
the very
did.
beginning, and this guy was all about I'm not even going to use the term slavery, but it was sort of like slave labor down there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of shit.
There's a
going down
lot
in
of
Dubai. There's
shady
some
shit.
bad slums in Dubai, man.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that another day. But yeah, this idiot shouldn't be going anywhere.
I gotcha.
What's
Well,
the next one you got, man?
I got one for you.
No, man, dude. Go ahead.
Teachers got shot in the back with a pellet gun, execution style. They were going through a training practice for mass shooter training in schools. And who was doing that training?
Wait a minute, man. Wait a
The
minute. So
police.
what you're telling me, T, is all this shit that's gone on at these schools, and they've had these blow-ups and these kids going in there and just losing it, and these mass shootings.
Yep.
They were doing some kind of training,
Yep. It's called Alice training.
and they decide Alice training.
Alice training. It's a drill. It was a drill they were doing, part of what they call Alice training.
All right, I don't know what that stands for, but
It's an acronym. It's something
yeah, okay,
something
but
about for like
yeah,
mass shooting.
I mean, and they're gonna show the kids that they're gonna demonstrate shooting the teacher's execution style.
No, there was no kids involved, from my understanding. It was just the teachers, and the teachers were as if they were like getting taken over by mass shooters. They were down on the ground. It was like kind of like gangland execution style, and all of a sudden with these airsoft pellets.
Are you sure they were airsoft? We were talking about that. Did you see that?
From the pictures that I saw that they took, they were airsoft.
Shit, they just shot him with a rig. Oh, it does say airsoft gun.
Yeah, but the pictures that I saw on those were airsoft guns. I saw right as soon as I saw the picture, I knew it was airsoft right away. But I mean, they weren't told. These teachers were not told and explained to them that this was going to happen. And these guys unloaded on their back. This dude, seriously, this was Sunday Bloody Sunday. This was mob hits, right?
Stay in your lane, bro.
This was the Valentine's Day massacre.
I mean, what are they doing? I mean, I don't
What are
get
you
it.
thinking?
I mean, can't you do that without going through that part of the exercise?
Right.
Okay, let me read you this part of the article, T. The White County Sheriff's Department did not respond to CNN's request for comment. White County Sheriff Bill Brooks told the Indy Star that the Alice training used an airsoft gun, but the department stopped doing so recently after a teacher was upset by it.
Really?
I mean, wouldn't you be upset if you got shot in the back with one of those things?
Dude, I turn around and cold cock somebody. I don't care if you're a cop or not. You don't do that.
man.
You got to think, what the hell is going through your head? And from my understanding, this isn't the first time this has happened. It just barely hit the news, though.
Listen to this part, dog. This is something, man. During active shooter drill, 4 teachers at a time were taken into a room, told to crouch down, and were shot execution style with some sort of projectiles, resulting in injuries to the extent that welts appeared and blood was drawn.
Exactly.
Love it, man.
I would be trying to choke a motherfucker out with that one.
Love it, man.
Anyway.
Oh, man, I'm just telling you, man. This next one, I just don't understand it, T. I don't get this one. I never got it. I didn't understand why we even talk about it or why this story would even make it out there that actually people would do this, man. But did you hear about this shit?
I did. We ran through the pre-show. I couldn't believe this, man. Talk about it.
Well, what it is, man, is I don't even know how to talk about it, bro. And all this shit goes down in England. Like, what the fuck are they doing in England?
I gotta
Are
say,
they smoking something different? Are they drinking some kind of gin? What do they got out there?
I gotta say, I gotta go out there and try to find out what the hell it is that they have, because I'm curious now. What the hell is in the water?
Right. So this story is basically about 6 guys. 6 guys taking a train, younger cats. I want to say probably mid-20s, 21 to 27. These guys are getting a little bit loud and they're starting discussing some of their sexual exploits.
On the train.
On the train. Well, no big deal, right? Maybe a little buzzed up. Maybe had a couple ales.
They
right?
probably
Don't
had
they
some
do that?
pints.
So yeah, they do that shit over there. Get a pint of ale, right?
Yeah.
So get a pint of ale, jump on the train, and they're talking about their fur balls and whatever happened in their sexual exploits. Now all of a sudden, they start turning to the passengers. The passengers getting a little upset.
Well, yeah. I mean, they probably were a little obnoxious about it.
Right, so it seems to me, I read this story that we're talking about now on this site, and then I read it on another site and another one, and basically what it comes down to, what I think is these passengers, some of them were women,
Yep.
and they started making comments to them like, guys, it's not nice to say stuff like that.
Yeah.
And their reaction to them was basically, well, show us your tits then.
So they're
Show
assholes.
us your tits.
These guys are
Yeah, you know, hey,
assholes.
show me your beef. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me check that thing out. You know, you don't want to hear about the beef I'm fucking talking about. Let me see yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so they're great guys.
Let me check your arse. Isn't that how they say it?
Yes, exactly.
Or your bum. Let me check out your bum.
That's not a pint of ale that did that, dude. They got to be drinking some beef eater.
They got to be doing something, dude. But check this out. So now, you know, they get a little bit loud. Now the other people on the train are involved. I don't know how this all goes down, but these dudes decide to take all their clothes off.
What?
So all 6 of these dudes got no clothes on. Now they're saying that it was some kind of train between a bath spa station in Somerset and Chippenham. I don't know. In England, do you get on a train to go from one side of the spa to the other and you're naked? Or they had to take their clothes off? Because these guys were naked when they did this.
Yeah.
And one of them started shatting in the train, dude.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Not just that. Well, the other ones started shatting too because they thought it was cool.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute, dog. It gets worse. I'm telling you, it gets worse. Now, I guess I've only seen this like in a movie, I think, and I heard it about like in the zoo where the monkeys start throwing their shit at each other. These guys started throwing their shit at each other on the train.
That's fucking disgusting.
A lady got hit in the face by fecal matter, bro.
I'm laughing, but it's sick, dude. I'm laughing because I have to laugh.
Wait a minute, though, dude. Okay, wait. Now, were these guys steak eaters? Because if it was, they're throwing around baby roots, bro. Dude, that shit had hurt, right?
Did anybody eat corn?
I was not just that, but okay. What if they did drink a couple pints? Now it's a little bit saucy, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know,
my
you're throwing oatmeal around.
God.
Yeah, throwing oatmeal
So what
or cream
happened
of
to
wheat
them?
around. Well, these guys ended up going to court, man. They ended up getting, they pled guilty. Then they went to court and they said, look, if you plead guilty, we're going to keep you in jail. So the only way they could even get out was to plead not guilty. So basically, they're going to get sentenced at a later date. And they pled not guilty, posted bail. And now they got to go through this stuff. So we're going to visit this thing again later, man.
Oh, man. We got to come back to that one
The
for sure.
fecal fracas.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
All right, man. So we're going to go into the entertainment part. Go ahead and hit it, man.
Yeah, so we got our entertainment section. This week we're gonna talk a little bit more about the Adnan Syed, because I really think that we need to talk a little bit and hit it just slightly more. And then we're gonna do a new segment within the entertainment section, which is a new release. We don't really do to the movies, but we want to see what movies that are out there that are coming out that pumps you up just by watching the trailer and makes you want to go out there to the movies.
I like that thought, T. 'Cause,
Yeah.
You know, we talked last week, and you know me, I'm the canary guy in the theater. I can't go to the movies. So I'm all about these new release kind of previews or whatever we're going to give, because there's no way I'm going to make it to the movies, bro.
So we got the movie Us.
Oh, I like that shit, dude. That's Gordon Peele or whatever. Jordan Peele.
Jordan
whatever.
Peele.
Yeah, I like that guy, dude.
Yeah.
Those guys are funny as hell, man. I like that
Well,
movie Keanu, dude.
Yeah. Keel and Peel or whatever.
K and Peele.
K
dude.
and Peele,
that's
yeah.
not good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start it off, man. Just a little bit of update. We talked about Adnan Syed in our first bit, but like T said, we're going to go ahead and give a drop every couple weeks or so and catch you guys up on the shows going on HBO, because what that show's done now is it sort of took all the backdrop stuff, sort of caught us up in the first episode of what's going on, and now the second episode's moving forward to what's going on now. So really where they're at now is they're sort of waiting for the judgment on the appeal and how they're going to sort of deal with the appeal now that the prosecution has thrown that kibosh on the legal team for Adnan Syed. So basically where it left off is they've been trying to contact this guy, Jay Wild.
Yeah.
They started talking to ex-girlfriends. This guy has a serious violent history, man.
See?
Yeah, he's been beating up his old ladies.
Yep.
There's pictures of his exes where he's got big old black eyes. They can't get a hold of him. They're talking to friends of his who've just burned him, who've
I
lied
wouldn't be
to him.
surprised if the guy just snapped one day.
And that's what I think. Well, I think this, man. My personal opinion is either this guy, Jay Wild, knows who did it, helped who did it, or was there who did it. He knows something.
He knows
man.
something.
Yeah, he's the one who's fabricating all this shit. So it's just shady, man. So, yeah, they talked about that. And the second one, they're showing the court testimonies of Jay Wild. So they're catching all that up. One of the other points, and the last point I'm going to talk about is that one of the last things to talk about in the second one that was only in court that didn't come out really in serial was a moment where Jay asked a girl, Jennifer, to give him a ride to the mall because he had to go to the dumpster.
Why would you have to go to the dumpster?
Because he had left a couple shovels that they used there that he let Adnan borrow. to bury her, and he wanted to wipe him down. But he said he didn't help Adnan dig the hole.
Interesting.
Right. So that's sort of how those things ended up in the second episode. So that's sort of our take on the second. We're going to not do it every week, T.
I
but
think every other
couple
week.
weeks, yeah. And that way we get a little bit of information. But we're going to just keep this thing going, and we're going to support Adnan the best we can on our podcast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, let's see
that's
what
our
goes
Adnan
on.
Syed bit there. And like I said, anything pressing comes up, and I definitely won't let it wait. If something happens in the next episode and he gets his appeal, I'll go ahead and shout it out.
Bring it.
But yeah, we're here to support Adnan Syed.
All right. So, moving on.
We're gonna let T go ahead and give us our new movie release here, our release preview. Again, this movie we talked about it a little bit is that movie Us.
The movie Us.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
T, the only thing I'm gonna say is, I'm not a technical guy,
Ye-
but a very good friend of mine really actually she brought this up to me and said, "Hey, we really got to see this movie." I'm like, "Why? What's up?" Yeah, she was talking to someone at work or something. What's going on? I jump into the conversation, and her whole thing is she looks at movies based on Rotten Tomato ratings. What do you think about those, man?
So Rotten Tomatoes gives some pretty good ratings. However, when we started talking about doing something like this, I started looking into this. And Rotten Tomatoes, there's a big discrepancy between IMDb rating and Rotten Tomato.
What?
There's a huge discrepancy.
Between what? What the fuck did you just say,
So
dude?
the IMDb,
What the fuck is that?
come on, you gotta know what IMDb is. It's a movie
is it?
rating. It also tells you all the background about a movie, an
Well, I was
actor,
gonna say,
everything.
isn't that where you go to see what movies an actor made?
Right, but they also give ratings on any of the
I don't know that
movies.
shit, dude. I don't know that shit.
Okay, here you go. A little knowledge on you. IMDb rated it at a 7.5 out of 10, where Rotten Tomatoes rated it at a 95.
What does that mean to an average guy like me?
So in Rotten Tomatoes, it got a higher score. In IMDb, it got a much less score. So I'm kind of torn. I'm like, okay, what is reality? Somewhere in the middle?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
This
looks a little trippy. Why don't you tell us a little bit of backdrop about this movie, man?
So it's the movie Us. It's a family that is being stalked and killed by clones of themselves, or it looks like it's them, but it's not them.
Yeah, man. No, I've seen these
It's
trailers,
trippy.
man. Yeah. And we were talking at work, and they're like, "Hey, you gonna go see it?" And I'm like, "Hey, I can't see that shit, T. I can't sleep. I'm a pussy.
You're a pussy, dude. You
I
can't
am. I
handle
watch
those
that
types
shit,
of
dude.
movies.
No, yeah. So okay, if the conditions are right, I'll see it in a movie theater with a whole bunch of people during the day on a matinee.
And the movie lights have to be all the way on.
No. I can watch it in the dark. But then, we'd have to go out and have dinner and drinks and have to get a little bit sloppy. So we didn't really
You gotta forget
remember it.
about that.
Yeah. If it's something like, if I watch that shit at night and
Yeah.
then go right to sleep,
Yeah.
forget about it, man.
Yeah, you're
I'm
done.
not going to sleep for 10 days. Just till it wears off.
See, I can see it in the middle of the night, very last showing, dead tired when I get home, and just knock out and not even think twice about it. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, because maybe it has to do with your brain matter, bro.
Yeah, because I know it's all fake.
Your brain matter?
No, my brain. My brain matters.
Yeah.
My brain matters.
So
I
your
know that
brain
it's all
is
fake.
dude. Yeah.
No, my brain knows it's fake.
Oh.
I don't dwell on it.
You don't believe in stuff like that?
No,
Do you believe in aliens?
no.
Did you see the movie Signs?
Yeah,
we were
I
talking
see.
about this at work too,
Yeah,
man.
I saw
Look,
Signs,
man,
man.
Hey, look, I'm not an M. Night Shyamalan. I don't like that guy. But that
saw-
movie Signs gives you the chills, man.
Okay, I'm not a fan of his either.
When that alien dude walks across the birthday party?
Yeah.
Or when he walks across the window, when you just said, dude, give me a foil hat, dog.
Yeah,
Remember they were
I'm
all
not a
wearing foil
conspiracy
hats and
guy.
shit, right?
I'm not
Give me
any
a
of
foil
that
hat,
crap.
dude. They're going to burn my brain.
For me, it's all about logic.
Just give me some
And it's
foil to wrap
illogical.
on my head, dude.
Yeah,
Just give me some foil to wrap on my
yeah.
head.
So you could
Going
melt
back to
that
Us,
brain
man.
of
Going
yours.
back to Us. No, I saw the same trailers, man. And this thing looks a little creepy.
It
It's
does.
a little weird, but definitely something different, man.
It is.
So-
It is different. It's something a lot different from what we've seen out there of the typical, kind of regurgitated movies.
Right. So what we're going to do for our listeners here is we're going to put Sweet Tea on the spot. By our next show, Sweet Tea's going to try to go watch this thing.
I'll try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think
he probably
actually
can.
I think I might go this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
Yeah.
what he was talking about. That's why I put him out there. So now he's got to do it. So yeah, you come back with us, and then you can give us a little bit of your take on the movie.
I'll tell you, kind of on the same.
Yeah, but don't ruin it for people who haven't seen it either.
No,
dog.
no. But in the same realms.
Oh, then
of,
you know what? Let's wait a couple weeks. Let them have the movie.
have the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fine. But in the realms of that same type of movie, that genre of movie, I'm already seeing previews for a movie that really got me kind of interested. La Llorona.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't even attempt to say that word because my friend Steph would probably give me shit because she says I'm a bocho. Yeah,
Dude, look
I
at
don't
me.
speak
I
Spanish,
am.
dude. You know,
I don't
what do
speak
you want me to say?
Spanish. But
Yeah,
hey,
hey.
but it looks
Sorry,
good.
Steph. Shout out to you, Steph. But I'm just saying, I
It
don't want
looks
to say
good.
the word.
But
But
it
I
looks
mean,
good, man.
Yeah, maybe
It looks out there.
Well,
So-
yeah, you know, and that's, you know, I mean, back in the day, right? What was it? The Boogeyman, Chupacabra, La Llorona.
La Llorona was one of them.
Yeah, so yeah, that
You know,
why not make a movie about her?
right? I
Yeah.
wonder why it took this long.
I mean, they probably made movies about her. Like, okay, like you seen the
The
movie?
Lady in White.
Yeah, I know, but you seen like the Ring and stuff? They got like little offshoots of that.
Yeah, no, there was a movie called Lady in White.
Yeah, I
and,
know.
and
I
it was
saw-
kind of like a generic version of that.
Yeah, man. So,
But I mean, actually called La Llorona. I mean, you know, I think it's
yeah,
taken
man.
a while
Look, I'm
for the
getting
culture.
nervous because I feel like I'm gonna have to talk about this,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna get shit from my friends. You know,
you're
so,
gonna get scared.
no. Not that I'm gonna get scared. Is I'm more because
Don't be scared.
Yeah,
Don't be scared.
yeah, because Steph's gonna give me shit.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right.
That's a lot of nuts.
All right,
All right.
so I'll let you guys know in the next couple episodes.
Right, exactly. So what do we got now? That wraps us up.
That's
right?
it. That's wrapping us up, man.
Oh, hey, man. Sorry, we took a little bit longer this week, you know, but hey, there was a little bit more content. We wanted to do a little bit better job for you, plugging the stuff in. Did a little bit more work. Thank you, Dr. X. You did a pretty good job this week.
I did a decent job.
Hey, man, did you get that email from Uncle Rico?
You gonna talk about that in front of Dr. X?
Yeah, man.
All right.
He's got to know. Sometimes it's about pushing somebody to get the best out of them.
That's
right?
true. All
Competition.
right. So we got a guy that's in the minor leagues right now. He's waiting to get called up. Dr. X doesn't work out, man. We got Uncle Rico. He sent, you know, some of you may know Uncle Rico. You know, he's
Well, he's not the real Uncle Rico, bro, but he goes by Uncle Rico.
but he goes
He's the
by
guy- he's
Uncle
done
Rico.
some
He plays the
produ-
bit though. He plays the
He's
bit.
produced some other podcasts and did some other stuff. So we sort of put Dr. X on notice last week. Like, dude, you sort of like didn't really pull your weight, dog.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just put it out there, man, and we're gonna put it out there again right now, man. If you don't cut this shit, man, and start doing something a little bit more positive here, we're gonna replace you, man.
It's coming.
I mean, so we got Uncle Rico in the bullpen waiting to get, you know, he'll just waiting for the phone call, start
Yep.
throwing.
You know. So we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see how it goes.
Hey, man, but hey, you know what? No kidding aside, thanks, Dr. X. You did a great job. You know, thanks for everybody for sticking around. It was a little bit longer show. We wanted to give you a little bit more content. Some of the feedback we got was the show's over too quick, guys. You know, I play it multiple days. You guys are only on once a week. I don't necessarily have to listen to the whole thing at one shot. So we went ahead and give you a little bit more content. Hope
Yep.
it worked out for you.
I'd like to thank everybody for sticking around to the end.
Yeah, it was a little longer show today, T, you know, but I think we covered a lot of good stuff.
So thank you everybody for Sweet Tea.
I'm RW King. Hey, Dr. X, we're going to give you a shout out too.
Big shout out to Dr. X this week. Much improved.
We're going to go ahead and see you guys next week. Incoherent Idiocy.
Out.